Earlier today, a interviewer asked Xavi, "What do you think about Kimmich?" And Xavi said this: "He's a great player, but there is nothing more to say." Then the interviewer asked him, "Well, what about a new right back?" And Xavi said, "It's not the number one priority. We really need a high-level defensive pivot this summer. It's obvious and logical after Busquets' exit. So it's clear that ever since Busquets has announced that he will not be continuing after this season at Barcelona, the priority is to sign a pivot. And Xavi wants to make that very well known to the media. He wants to also send a message to everybody that works within Barcelona. Xavi needs a brand new pivot, and Barcelona will be searching in the summer. And let me tell you, the choices are very, very exciting. And Barcelona have to listen, because I know that Xavi knows that if Barcelona go into the next season without a brand new pivot, Barcelona may not survive, and we will be seeing some defects in this team. So Barcelona must search for a high technical player and also has the ability to learn positioning on the field and counter pressing. Because right now there is no player in the world besides Sergio Busquets that is very good in positioning themselves, counter pressing, and also being a high technical player. There are players that are good in either just one of those three, but Barcelona need one that can be good in all three, and that's very hard to find. And to be very honest, I do not even think that it's going to be in Barcelona's plans to find a pivot that brings all of these qualities all together. I strongly believe that Xavi Hernandez will be going for a double pivot for the next couple of years. It's just the future of this club. It's what this Barcelona team is going to be representing, because Xavi wants total control, and the only way you could get total control is by having a double pivot in the team. So Xavi is either going to go for Zubimendi and Frankie, or Amrabat and Frankie, or Kimmich and Frankie. But the hottest name right now, it is Kimmich. He is the closest player to what Barcelona does want in terms of being technical on the ball, having the ability to learn positioning, and also counter pressing. Kimmich is honestly not the best pivot in the world that can defend, but he can learn, which is why he is again the hottest name. And about 2 or 3 days ago, the media also wanted to ask what was Lewandowski's opinion on Kimmich potentially moving to Barcelona, and this is what Lewandowski had to say. "Listen, I haven't spoken with Kimmich recently, and I know where you're going with this. I'll tell you, I heard about these rumors myself, but I did not speak with him since it is not the time." And then the interviewer asked him, "So where would you put this puzzle Kimmich in the team?" And Lewandowski said, "Look, of course, I would put Kimmich in the team, but I don't want to say anything because I don't really know the subject, and I don't know if it's some kind of journalistic gossip, because such things appear a lot. I have heard such things many times in this round of competition." And this is again Lewandowski speaking to Canal Plus Sport. Now, I find this very fascinating and also kind of like a coincidence, because whatever could be going on with Kimmich is exactly what happened to Lewandowski. So if you guys are wondering, okay, what's the process of Kimmich going to be like in this transfer window? Well, it might end up going in the exact same way of Lewandowski. Remember, back in April 2022, around this time, it was said that Lewandowski going to Barcelona was impossible. We move on towards the next month, which was May 2022. It was also said that Bayern will not accept offers for Lewandowski and Barcelona do not have the money. And then we went on the next month in June 2022, and it was said that Lewandowski is pushing, but Bayern will not let him leave. And then moving on towards the next month of July, then the headline completely changed, and it said that Lewandowski has officially signed for FC Barcelona. So you saw how, like, in those 4 months, the story was evolving. It was slowly becoming a reality. And the same thing could go on with Kimmich. Of course, we're going to be hearing that Kimmich is not going to Barcelona, that Bayern Munich do not want to let this player go, that Kimmich may not be interested. Of course, we're going to be hearing this, especially at this time of the season. And I'm going to be explaining exactly why in a few seconds. But look, if Barcelona decide to go all out for Kimmich and Kimmich is available, he should be our priority. Like, it won't be easy, and Bayern will not make it easy at all, but it will be worth it, my friends. We're talking about a midfield that will be very disciplined in their craft, and especially with Kimmich, because if we have Kimmich, Frankie, Pedri, Gavi, it's a midfield that would give Xavi so much. Like, Xavi will see so much results, and especially with Kimmich in the midfield, knowing how disciplined he is. I remember back in 2013 or 2014 when Pep Guardiola was coaching Bayern Munich, Pep Guardiola was like screaming at Kimmich on the field even after they were winning. Kimmich was just looking at Pep Guardiola and just saying, yes, I understand what you're saying, you're right. And it was literally like a teacher and student moment, and it showed us that Kimmich is a type of character that likes to listen, and he is always open towards taking orders. And like I said, very disciplined in his craft, always willing to see how he can perfect his play, which is why I would welcome someone like him. He can be a true captain in this club, as a matter of fact. So it says here, according to Sport 1, that Spain in particular attracts Kimmich. However, he isn't considering on leaving. He's still evaluating about his future and is concerned about Bayern's sporting development. But in the short term, he isn't thinking of committing to Madrid or Barcelona. Another point is that Bayern considers him as a unsellable. Now, like I've said, of course, we're going to be hearing this. Don't be too alarmed about this story here. And let me tell you why. Bayern Munich are in second place in the league. They're 2 points behind Dortmund, and Dortmund and Bayern have 1 game left each. And so if Dortmund loses and Bayern wins in their next match, Bayern claim the league title. And so it's a very important and a very intense moment right now in the German league. And the last thing that Kimmich and Bayern Munich want to put out to the media is say that yes, there is some potential departures that could take place, and one of them is Kimmich. Like that's the last thing they're going to be saying. Right now, it's just not the moment for that. But let me tell you, after this season is over and Bayern conclude their season, we'll see how Kimmich does move. And I would not be surprised to hear that Kimmich is not happy at Bayern Munich, because what has been going on at Bayern Munich as of late has not been going very well. Like ever since Hansi Flick left Bayern, things have been slowly falling apart. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but before Hansi Flick, Bayern Munich were not that great. When Hansi Flick arrived, they became a monster of a team, like a complete dominant monster team that was just so unstoppable. It was a team that I would put right next to the 2011 Barcelona and the 2023 Manchester City side. Bayern were just that good. But then after Hansi Flick left, Bayern Munich went back down to their level that they were in before Hansi Flick did come in. And so maybe Kimmich was looking at this whole picture and saying, hey, look, like the only man that can actually bring Bayern into top level is Hansi Flick. And I don't see Bayern Munich appointing Hansi Flick anytime soon. And I just don't see Tuchel taking Bayern Munich to the correct level. Maybe it's just time for us to move into separate ways. And I would also like to go into a different journey. And maybe that could be the reason why Kimmich is very inspired to go to Spain. And most importantly, Barcelona, because he is inspired to be in the next big show. And that could be FC Barcelona. Gerard Romero has also reported that Kimmich has been offered to Barcelona, who are studying the operation. And who has offered Kimmich to Barcelona? It's the players' camp that has offered Kimmich to Barcelona. The club is studying this, but they're aware Bayern will make his exit more difficult than Lewandowski's. And so look, like I've said, I would still kind of lean towards the side of Kimmich being a fantasy signing. Like I have a very tough time believing that Barcelona could achieve this, but if they do, it would be amazing. I think that Kimmich is so important to Barcelona and would fit so well in this squad that I would honestly prioritize Kimmich transfer over Messi, mainly because Barcelona lack a pivot and they definitely do not lack an attacker. We have Rafinha, we have Dembele, we have Lamine Yamal looming around, we have Lewandowski, we have a player that will be coming, which is Vitor Roque, and so they have options. And I would put this team before any player. Whatever player can make this team more complete is the player that I would honestly want. And I know that Xavi Hernandez is thinking in the exact same way. Kimmich completes this team more than Lionel Messi. Now, if Barcelona sign Messi and Kimmich in the same summer and they pull off a miracle, then great. Like that would be amazing to have Kimmich and Messi in the same team with these exact same group of players. I would be the most satisfied Barcelona fan in the world. And so we'll see if Mateo Lemar and Andrew Laporta can pull off a miracle. Now, if you guys are worried about Frankie de Jong maybe leaving because Kimmich is coming, don't worry about that. Kimmich is not here to replace Frankie de Jong. Fabrizio Romano has stated that Xavi wants Frankie de Jong to stay. He considers him as a key player in the team, and Ten Hag also knows that Frankie de Jong does not want to leave despite the rumors. So he is 100% completely safe. As for Zubimendi, it says here, according to Javi Miguel, that Barcelona wants to make an effort in a top defensive pivot. They have two names, Zubimendi and Kimmich. Barcelona has yet to fully rule out the idea of paying Zubi's release clause, which is 60 million euros, while Kimmich is an impossible dream for Xavi. They only try if he wants to come. So at the moment, it seems like Zubimendi and Kimmich are very leveled in terms of options, and if Barcelona cannot achieve any of those two signings, they will go for Amrabat. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.